Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Tollcross International Swimming Centre right here in the East End of Glasgow. We are here for the third and final day of the Glasgow International Swim Meet 2023. This is the first session of this Sunday, final day of action here for this international meet. My name's Paul Noble. I'll be taking you through the action this morning, joined in the commentary position by Scott Warnock. Welcome, Scott.
Good morning. Looking forward
back again for another stint in the commentary position.
Must have done something wrong yesterday, yeah.
So lots to look forward to this morning. We've seen some great action over the last couple of days. I was just being told by our colleagues there, we're doing our stats there. 16 meet records out of 22 events so far. That's incredible, isn't it?
Just seemed to go yesterday. There just seemed to be meet record after meet record, and particularly the females have been amazing over this course of the last couple of days, but the males yesterday made up for it in the finals.
And there's what we're looking forward to this morning. It's heats all the way this morning. 50 metres butterfly starts us off. Women are going to be first this morning, followed by the men. 400 freestyle, 100 backstroke, 200 breaststroke and 100 freestyle. So a pretty busy morning of action. We'll see a lot of returning swimmers. A lot of those record breakers from the previous 2 days are going to be in this morning, coming back again.
I think there's a few different events as well that they're swimming in, which is good. Some of the performance athletes we've seen, Duncan Scott yesterday swimming 100 breaststroke, which is not very usual, and we're seeing quite a lot of the 50-100 swimmers swimming in 200. So it's good actually that we're actually seeing some of these swimmers in events that they're not typically ranked in Britain on. So again this morning I think we've got a few 50-100 swimmers that are in the 200, so it'll be interesting to see how they go on. And even in the 400 front crawl, I think we'll get most of the fast girls that are actually swimming the 400 front crawl as well this morning.
And it's good to see the likes of Duncan Scott here at this event, isn't it?
He loved it yesterday. I mean, I commented Duncan was alongside me, and I don't think I've seen Duncan as happy as he came out that 100 breaststroke. I'm sure there was 3 Stirling guys in that heat. I'm sure there was something, a side bet somewhere in the 3 guys, if I'm honest with you. So he was delighted with his 100 breaststroke yesterday.
There's a lot of club rivalry here. We'll see a few head-to-heads. A lot of big Stirling presence, Edinburgh University as well. We've got a few people from Loughborough as well, some of the top names. So that's what we're looking forward to on this first event. 50 metres butterfly, 6 heats of this 50 fly again. As we've seen over the last couple of days, the top 10 swimmers in terms of time from the 6 heats. Well, from the 6 heats this morning and from the heats this afternoon, of course. Let's not forget about them. We'll make their way into the A final tonight. Next 10 will be in the B final, and then there's also opportunities for junior finals as well for those swimmers, like 16 and under for the girls, 17 and under for the boys.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of kids progress from yesterday's afternoon session, which was good to see. I think there was 1 or 2 who made the Bs, and there was a lot of junior swimmers, so lots to play for. I think this session plus the afternoon session looks pretty stacked, so I expect to see, I think, all the elite swimmers making the finals tonight.
Yeah, so nothing settled in the heats this morning. I always look out for this afternoon, just in case there's a flyer from this afternoon session. You never know. But big names, well, pretty much all the big names, the kind of internationalists are going to be in this morning, so great to see them. You just see in the front of your picture there one of the international teams as well, and that's one of the Danes or the Swedes there. It's great to see them, and they've performed really well. They have some great individuals, haven't they?
Yeah, and I mean they were fantastic. They won a couple of finals last night, and I see we've got one of the Danish swimmers here, Martine at 16. She's placed first in the programme this morning, so it'll be interesting to see how she does. She did well yesterday. I think it was 100 that we've seen her in, but it's great to see the international teams in the as they're here as a team. I don't know if we've caught it on the live stream yet, but the little prep before the sessions is pretty good.
The little huddle.
The huddle's good, yeah.
Just something Glasgow's famous for, of course, just up the roads, but the Danes certainly embracing it, certainly here as a team. Great to see that. Here's the first of our swimming action this morning. Ellen Denny goes in lane number 9. I've got Lucy de Grossa, Emma Leggett, Anna Kachenko, Caitlin Frame, Rosie Liston, Madison Christopherson, Laura Anderson, Perry Scobie and Isla Dobson. As we're looking at the picture there, we've got lane 0 right at the top, lane 9 right at the bottom. So it's one lane of the pool here. Come into the finish. Very close finish there, as we might expect in a 50, but Perry Scobie just getting the touch there. It's a nice finish there from Perry Scobie.
It was all in the finish, wasn't it? There was 4 there coming in just at the right at the end, and Perry had a good day yesterday and following that up today. Interesting as well, with a 13-year-old in there, Madison, in lane 4. We've seen a few 13-year-olds yesterday progress, and in fact I think we had 1 or 2 that made the B finals.
So we'll go on to the second of these heats here. Kirsty Gilmore in lane 0, Gabriella Lessing in 1, Georgia Dickey in 2, Mia McLeod in 3, Alice Cumming in 4, Ashley Drake in 5, Sabrina Macher in 6, Lucy Lucas in 7, Zara Kravich in 8, and Kelly Smith in lane number 9. Well, I was on the live stream on day 1, Scott, and Alice Cumming really stood out for us. What an event she had, what a day she had on Friday.
Yeah, I only caught some of it on Friday, but amazing swimmer, amazing athlete, and technically really very good.
Here she comes in. It's going to be Alice coming into the wall first, I think. Only just getting that one, but 29.87 for her. The first one we've seen under the 30-second mark. So that's always good to see these barriers broken. But Alice Cumming gets in there.
I think that's a good PB there, and she'll be really pleased with that. I think she's been doing well in training. It's nice to see that transfer into the weekend that she's had.
Of course, she was sitting at Glasgow now, of course.
Yes,
is that a recent appointment?
It's a recent,
yeah. Of you in the Lanarkshire
that's right,
area.
Yeah, for a long while. But yeah, I'm helping out Danielle here just whenever Danielle's off in camps or anything like that. So it's nice to see, and I get an opportunity to see all the kids here. So it's good. I don't have a squad as such, so it's nice to see them all swimming here.
Well, a quick run through of this one. Katie Campbell at the top, Kira Steriker in 1, Grace Courtney in 2, Maya Reynard in 3, Louise Edmonds 4, Katie Rose in 5, Moya Nyblom in 6, Louise Connell in 7, Anna Green in 8, and Catherine Body in lane number 9. Right at the top there, good start there from Kira Steriker in lane number 1. Looks like that start's going to see her in good stead. She's going to get in first. It was the finish of Katie Rose, I think. Just got there in the end, not by much.
Just too much, I think, there for Kira just at the end. I think she had her fingernails out to try and get that wall, but really good finish there by Katie.
So 30.23 for Katie. Kira Steriker, excellent start there. Real good reaction off the block. Did have a disqualification in that one. That was Nyblom was disqualified in that one. As we go on to the next heat, heat number 4, Eve Mayer, Nicole Ricci, Yasmin Hammerlane, Hayley Robertson, Yasmin Perry, Sophie Herch, Faith Huda, Kirsty Brechen, Anna Fuslang, and Tindra Karjama. So again, right in the centre, Yasmin Perry. We're getting into the seeded heats now, Scott, so look forward to seeing some of the faster swimmers here.
Yeah, we seen that yesterday, and certainly the performance athletes are using it, I think, as a test in the morning, so it's good to see Yasmin here going out fast.
Yeah, and also going out fast here, right down at the bottom, Anna Fuslang, really almost taking that one there, 28.41 for Anna Fuslang from Denmark, just pipped there by Yasmin Perry, 28.23 in the centre lanes here.
Yeah, it was interesting yesterday. We had some athletes using the morning heats as definitely a test for the nighttime sessions, and with others that were kind of easing their way into the final. We even had a butterfly. We had Laura Stevens do 200s butterfly yesterday morning, so I don't know if we'll have any surprises like that this morning.
Well, keep our eyes peeled. They're not letting us have much of a rest here, starting off with the 50s here. They're not easing us into it, are they?
Normally the 50s are at the end, so that's it'll be strange for the athletes to get up and swim fast right off the start of the session.
Alexandra Miller, Vicky Russell, Abigail Stemp, Jacinta Moore, Lucy Grieve, Louise Sisted, Christine Nielsen Norby, Melissa Mainwaring, Amber Stevenson and Nuala Gow. That's the lineup for this one. More of a spearhead in this one, so the centre lanes Lucy Grieve and Louise Sisted looking like they are going to come in first position. Maybe Tabor as well in second, 27.46 for Lucy Grieve, and she's had a couple of good swims.
She's been amazing, and obviously first year up in Stirling, used to be at South Ayrshire. I think that's close to her kind of season best. I think we'd expect to see a little bit more tonight. They've all really, stood up at night time and swam amazing, but Lucy seems to be settled really well up there in Stirling.
So a couple in the 27 range that time. What's the prediction, you think? 28 points going to do it for the top 10?
28 point, yeah, I think. Yeah, it's been quite close. The 50s anyway have been really close in the finals. So.
Well, this one sees Zoe Crawford. You see the scoreboard in the back of the shot there. Zoe Crawford, Madison Cool, Jade Blake, Kira Slosson, Martine Damborg, Matilda Sandberg, Lana Burns-Aitken, Kiana Kurtz, Marie Wood and Anna de Grossa. Denmark and Sweden in 4 and 5. Looks like it is a swimmer in lane number 4. And Kira Slosson is going well too from Edinburgh University. She's had a couple of good swims on the top 3 positions in the 100 and in the 200 as well. And she's in second, 27.31. Slosson in 27.40. So that is the fastest we saw for Martine Damborg. Winner of the 100, I think, Martine Damborg, a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and
she's going to be a threat.
She's definitely a threat, and then Kira's just had an amazing season. I think yesterday as well in the 200 pushed Laura Stevens all the way in the final, and fantastic season by her.
Aye, so 28.66 looks like they've got. Oh, look at that! It's a tie there. 28.81 for 12th place.
At least it's not a swim off. We should be fine.
It's second reserve. They might have a swim off for second reserve, possibly for that final.
I know.
You don't look keen. You don't look keen.
In the juniors, we would always do that, a swim off. In the seniors, it might be a slightly different, but certainly with the junior swimmers, we would always say do the swim off because they're always faster.
And as we go down the points there, again, some of the juniors might still be some of these swimmers that we'll see in the junior final, even down to these kind of positions here. But of course, this afternoon's heats to come, so could all change round in this afternoon's heats after we get those in.
Yeah, I think me and Duncan had their socks and shoes off yesterday counting all the numbers down because the programme as it stands just takes the top 30, so you've got to try and work out all the age categories and make sure the juniors are in the right areas, but as you say, there'll be loads there that actually make that final.
So on quickly to the men's 50 metres butterfly. Torrin Liveridge, Tyrus Pike, Adam Ritchie, Cameron Gill, Matthew McMillan and Mano Drysdale. It's like Adam Ritchie off to a good start, nice reaction as well. We've seen the reaction times on the boards here. Adam Ritchie, good 10th of a second faster than anyone else, and he has gone ahead of the rest of the field. It's going to be almost a body length advantage for Ritchie, 25.98. That's not a bad way to start the morning, is it? My goodness, what an improvement on the entry time.
I think I'll be happy with that. I think I've only seen about 2 or 3 breaths here in that whole length, so he obviously understands the event and knows how to swim it, but that's a massive PB to start the morning off.
25.98. It's not going to be out of place in any of the heats to follow, is it?
I mean, it's possibly on the cusp. It might not make the B final. He's 19, but to make that kind of improvement at that age, it obviously shows that his time in Stirling is well spent.
So Adam Ritchie sets the standard here. Cameron Shaw, Rory Webster, Jensen Norris, Cedar Gullen, Callum Sinclair, Logan Ward, Rory Young, Johan Brymet, Magnus Tulberg and Connor Stewart. Let's line up for this one. West Lothian swimmer Callum Sinclair in lane number 4 next to Logan Ward, another one of the Stirling University swimmers on those 2 yellow lanes. In the centre of the pool, it's the one above them, Cedar Gullen, off to a nice start there with that red cap of Warrender, another red cap, Jensen Norris of Perth, one line up from him, going well. It's the two in the red caps coming in together. Oh, and they were almost together, 27.02 for Gullen. Bang on the entry.
Good swim there, and we also had Jensen's coach up, Anne from Perth City, so she predicted him doing well this morning, and right enough, that's been an excellent improvement there by Jensen.
Yeah, 27.06, so 27.22 was the Perth man's entry time, so he's improved back to 27.06.
Good to get someone like that, 15-year-old and 17-year-old there, getting in amongst all these kind of older swimmers, these athletes that are, you know, been and done this many a time.
Next one, Andrew Arthur, Louis Lawler, Aidan Fothergill, Leon Gurlows, Josh Press, Nicholas Nyblom, Dylan Cashmore, Zach Slater, Robson Miles and Benji Jeffries. So in the centre, Josh Press going well in lane number 4. Paraswimmer Louis Lawler in this one as well, one of the City of Glasgow swimmers, so watch out for the time for Louis Lawler in lane number 1. But into the wall, Josh Press comes in 26.07. That was a good improvement as well. Leo Gurrit's 26.20. So time's getting a little bit faster, but still that first heat.
Yeah,
just looking at the time for Louis Lawler, yeah, just checking his time, and that might be a Scottish record for Louis Lawler, you know, 27.18. So well done for Louis.
he was good yesterday. He's had a good meet. He's enjoying himself. He's obviously preparing for the major meets in the summer that he's been selected for. So it'll be good to see what he can do in the summer when he's fully rested.
Yeah, World Championship paraswimmer there, Louis Lawler. So I can get confirmation of that. Okay, so that might be inside the world record, the Scottish record even, for his class. As the next heat on our way, Eric Resland, Andrew Bertoli, Connor Fitzgerald, Tom Bailey, Constantino Stammer, Morgan Hyde, Luke Shaw, Callum Rose, Finlay Nelson and Adam Scott. But it is the man in lane number 4, Constantino Stammer. Another one of these swimmers, one of the Greek swimmers in this one, 24.52. So there we go. That time in the first heat has gone now. Tom Bailey 25.26, Brogan Hyde 25.29 there. That's the top 3. That's kind of ramped it up a bit, Scott.
Yeah, you can see the specialist, the sprint specialist coming out there. That was an amazing swim there. That was a great swim by the Greek swimmer Konstantinos, and you can see the physicality of these guys when they come out the pool. They're really, really built for these kind of events.
Yeah, the 50 fly. That power over that first section of that 50-metre event. Mark Innes, Stephen Clegg, Jonas Garr, Ben Carr, Thomas Carswell, Dean Fern, Rory McKinnon, Benjamin Chuyen, Georgios Baniotis, Cameron Creaney. Again, a young swimmer in this one, 15-year-old Dean Fern in lane number 5. Para swimmer as well, Stephen Clegg there, right up there in lane number 1. But here we are, lanes 4 and 5 coming in together. Tom Carswell and Dean Fern, absolutely together there. A good swim from the youngster, 25.02 for Dean Fern.
Just had an amazing season, hasn't he? He's really kind of exploded onto the scene, had a great trials, continuing that here. The way he swam that as well was really impressive. Kept his head down, just a couple of breaths, and not easy. Thomas Carswell's been doing this event for a long time, and Dean gave him a run for his money there.
Yeah, Tom Carswell, 23 years of age. Dean Fern, just 15 years of age. Well, here is the final heat. Can anyone challenge that time set by Stamout? Aidan Kay, Ross Leslie, Peter Allen, Evan Bailey, Casper Pugard, Jamie Robertson, Salvador Gordo, Oisin Tibby, Joshua Mitchell, and Miles Lapsley. Well, Pugard was very impressive in the 100 butterfly, setting a meet record in that one. Meet record held by Duncan Scott, 24.07, and here comes Pugard now. Look at this, 24.10. Just 3 100ths of a second outside the meet record, but that was impressive again from the Dane.
I think technically there, that was amazing. You know, you see that, if you know, you can see it on the live stream how high he was up in the water. He was effectively surfing for 50 metres there, which is you know, really, really good. Keeps the resistance away, keeps you faster, but the power in that stroke, wow.
So, incredible swim from the Dane. Adam Ritchie from that first heat makes it into 16th place there, so get a B final swim for Adam Ritchie, depending, of course, on what happens this afternoon. Casper Pugar, you know, he looked good in the 100 butterfly, as I said, and he won the European Junior title in this 50 butterfly, but you know, he looks a real star in the making, doesn't he? He's still a youngster, isn't he?
He's only 18, so you know, he's just really, still classed as a junior in the kind of world standings now that everything's 18, but yeah, phenomenal. That's the first time I've seen him live, and hopefully it comes across in the live stream just how technically good that swim was. And it's difficult in a 50, especially when, you know, we're saying here we're standing up first thing in a session and having to swim fast. It's not easy doing that, and obviously more to come, I think, this afternoon and this evening when the finals are in.
Well, you would expect so, wouldn't you? I mean, what time are we on now? Early in the morning here in Glasgow, 9:20. And already we've seen the meet records challenged. And we've got a little bit of time to take a breath now. 400 freestyle for women. And I think for the men and for the women, just 3 heats of this 400 freestyle for each of them. So we have Catherine Body right up there at the top from Geary in line 0. Lexine McHappen from Falkirk Integrated Regional Swim Team. She goes in line 1. Louise Connell in 2. Ayla Cochrane in 3. 2 from City of Glasgow, side by side there. Georgia Dickey from Dumfries goes in 4. Caris Mooney from City of Glasgow in 5. Evie Mackey from Lanark in 6. Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 7. India Marshall from East Lothian in 8. And Victoria Niven, City of Glasgow in lane number 9. A big City of Glasgow presence here, Scott?
There is, but I mean, if you look across that field, there's only 4 seconds, I think, that separates all of these girls. So I think we expect a close race here. Certainly with the age groups that we've got in there, we've got, you know, some kind of 14 and 16-year-old girls. So we would expect to see someone from the pack breaking forward and taking this swim on.
Yeah, one of the youngsters challenging for the lead there, Evie Mackey, was the youngest in the field, I think, 14 years of age. Caris Mooney next to her. So these two having a nice head-to-head there as we go over up to the 150 mark, right at that top end there.
And Evie yesterday had an amazing day and made the final session on the 400 IM. But I think there's a couple of girls in here that swam most of the events yesterday. So there's also that element to this competition that a lot of people are using it as a little bit of practice and a little bit of extra training, getting themselves ready for the big summer meets that are coming up for all of the kids at the top end here.
Well, I was here on Friday and there was a number of swimmers that just seemed to be out of the water and back in again in quick succession, especially if the 50s are towards the end, maybe doing a 200 freestyle or something, and then the men's 50s, and then the girls seem to be right back in again straight after. So it's like 10-15 minutes maybe between the races.
And it's good to see. I think more athletes are challenging themselves, and meets like this don't come along very often. It's definitely an opportunity to get some good long course swimming in, but more importantly, get some more understanding about how you should be swimming these races when you've got, you know, the likes of the people we've just seen in the 50s. You know, there's world-class athletes here, and it's nice to be amongst them and figure out what it is you need to do to be at that level. Yeah,
and it's all good learning experience, isn't it? I don't think there's any substitution for actually going in a competition. You can train all you want, but the competition element is incredibly important, isn't it?
Yeah, but one of the kind of 14-year-old girls make a B final or an A final, last night, and it was, you know, quite emotional. But then after the opportunity to do that, then all of a sudden it dawns on them that actually I can do this. Everybody's got the same as me, a head, 2 arms and 2 legs, and the next time they get the opportunity, they'll be so much better at it.
Well, it looks like Evie Mackey 14-year-old is taking it to the older swimmers. In this one, she comes down to the 300 mark. Entry time 4:42 for her, so she's not going to be far away from that one. 3:31.05. Just about there. She might just slip past that one, but a little bit of a spurt here in the last 100 might take her under that entry time that she has. In second place, right on the other side of the pool, Lexi McCappin and Caris Mooney, one line up from the leader. That was where they stood at the 300 mark. So they go to the final turn now in this first heat. 35.23 for that first 50. So she's pretty much on course now. If she can come back at the same time.
So she's getting faster, which is good. So she was 36 for a while there. She's really paced this really well, and obviously, you know, got something back for the last 100. That 35 is nearly a second and a half faster than the previous 50. So yeah, I think she's just going to duck under here.
It's a nice head-on shot showing the technique there. And comes into the wall and inside that entry time, 4:41.66 for Evie Mackey. So that is in 0.8 inside her entry time. So we'll be delighted with that one. Lexi McCappin over there, close to the top of the pool, 4:44. So just outside her entry time, not by much though. And the third spot was India Marshall, 4:45 on the button for India Marshall. But a nice swim from the youngster there, Evie Mackey.
Great swim, really impressed with her this weekend, and to come out and do that, you know, day 3, you know, there are not many competitions that are this long, and it's always difficult as the days go on. You get a little bit more tired. To do that in day 3 on session 1 is really impressive.
Swimmer from Lanark as well, was that a club you?
No, well, Karen, our coach, has produced many a good swimmer over the years, and Evie just seems to be going from strength to strength. So I think we said yesterday about clubs, you know, it doesn't matter where you are, it's just good swimmers, good athletes with good coaches will perform really well at these events.
And that was your area the last time. Was it North Lanarkshire you were before?
I was,
South
yes.
Lanarkshire, I do remember.
Yeah.
Because you did have a para swimmer, Gary Brown, who going on to greater things in other sports as well.
The legend, yeah. I'm
but,
still
20 years ago or so, trying to make his Athens Paralympics.
Well, even although he won gold at the bowls, I'm still claiming it as his coach. So yeah, Gary will be no doubt listening to this live stream, but done amazing as an athlete in swimming, but moved over to para bowls and won the Commonwealth gold. So
yeah,
nobody more delighted than me. Fantastic,
absolutely
fantastic athlete.
That was great. Gary Brown, I'm sure he's taken on all your advice over the years.
I'm pretty sure.
Eventually,
I'm pretty sure he has. I think it started with you, me, and him in a pool table. I think in Sheffield.
Right. We won't talk about that.
20 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Safe to say I didn't win that. So.
Well, the second heat underway. Of course, we just seen Michaela Glenister go through that first 100, looking very comfortable indeed. Full lineup for this one: Ida Fredrickson, Coco Croxford, Phoebe Arbuckle, Mary Craig, Michaela Glenister leading them here in line number 4. Natasha Simpson in 5, Evie Davis in 6, Rebecca Reid in 7, Stella McCarty in 8, and Hannah Edmiston in lane number 9. Michaela Glenister and Phoebe Arbuckle medalists in the 800 freestyle as well. So
yeah, I've seen them swim this a few times, but certainly Michaela has been doing the long distance events for quite some time, so it's good to see her. A bit surprised that she's so far ahead here, but she has got an entry time this morning, 4:14, and yeah, I think she does a bit of open water as well, or has done in the past, so I think she's...
I was just going to say that. It rings a bell with open water sports of Michaela Glenister before. I think that's the first time that she kind of came onto my radar as an open water swimmer, but certainly moved into the pool. Certainly since the pandemic, I think I've seen her more in the pool and coming to the fore. I mean, swimming really well here. I saw her at the Bucks earlier on. She took a medal in this event as well, silver medal. She's been at the Edinburgh International as well, very impressive. And yeah, looking good at the moment.
Really smooth. When you see that there, you can understand that, you know, why she does the kind of longer events, because she's quite efficient in there, nice and long. And you can see the leg kick behind there, just keeping her balance, making sure that she's pointing in the right direction. And you know, definitely, you know, as these 50s, if we look at the splits, she's been pretty consistent on the splits. She's been around about the 33s all the way through. So obviously swimming within herself this morning, and we'll no doubt look forward to the final tonight.
I mean, you won't be able to see it on the live stream, but in the venue, of course, we've got the scoreboard here in Tollcross, and it actually tells us if the swimmers are getting faster, the splits come up as a green, and if they're getting slower, they come up as a red marker. So it's good for if you're ever here at Tollcross, a nice little bit of innovation for the scoreboard there. Michaela Glenister, as she goes over that one, we can see her last split there has gone green, 33.69 for her, so 0.1 of a second faster than her previous split. She has an entry time of 4:14, so she's not going to challenge that this morning, but I'm sure she's got a lot more in the tank as she goes on to the final. It's a comfortable qualification with the final for her.
Yeah, she's looking good, looking very long and looking relaxed in that swim, so yep.
So she comes in comfortable victory, 4:21.61. Mari Craig 4:28.81, and Evie Davis in third place, 4:29.48. So under the 4:30 mark.
Some good solid swims there. I think the girls will be pleased with that when they come out of the water. And definitely, I think, see a few of them in the A and the B finals tonight.
Yeah, you would think so. And there's the results there. Phoebe Arbuckle in fourth position, 4:31. Natasha Simpson, 4:34. So that's the target.
Some younger
to come.
Younger ones in there as well, with Coco and Ida. So you definitely see them, I think, tonight in the junior final, which will be nice.
So the final heat. It's way now. Isabel Wood, Mary Mischenko. Isabel Wood from Stirling, University of Aberdeen Performance, Mary Mischenko. Susie McNair from Stirling. Esther Rydbeck Nord from Tabisim of Sweden. Freya Colbert from Loughborough goes in lane number 4. Lucy Hope in 5 from Stirling University. Sophie Main in 6 from Edinburgh University. Ida Krag from Denmark in 7. Zara Kravich from East Lothian in 8. And Faye Rogers, another one of the para swimmers, she goes in lane number 9. But Freya Colbert is one of the rising stars of GB swimming, and of course Lucy Hope as well has been performing really well over the past few years.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see. I think it's the first time I've seen Lucy swim a 400 front crawl, and I think she's really kind of increased her range over the last year. We've seen her, I think, in all the front crawl events now, other than the 800. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets on. Her 200 last night was excellent, and just really pipped at the last minute on the last 5 last night. But there was 3 girls all coming at the same time, and Lucy, I think, was second, if I remember right, last night. But
Abby Wood, I think, took it, did she?
She did. Yep. Yeah. But I think, as far as her swimming's concerned, that I think all round it seems to be getting better, and it's good to see her in these events. Sometimes the younger kids think, why am I swimming these longer events? But you can see there, even athletes that have won medals on the world stage are having a bit of fun here and challenging themselves in events that they normally wouldn't do.
Well, Lucy entered on a 4:20.47. She is in second position there, and as they go over at that 150 mark, making their way down to the 200. Freya Colbert looking pretty comfortable in the middle there. Freya Colbert. The leader is Ida Krag, one of the Danish swimmers, 17 years of age, looking good in these early stages. Ida Krag. But Lucy Hope and Freya Colbert looking so comfortable, isn't it?
Freya looks really good there, doesn't she? You know, you say rising star. She's just had an outstanding season, outstanding trials, and has swam well at this meet as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the time is tonight. It looks like she's swimming within herself just to try and get a lane tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what the plan is in the next kind of 100 here, whether she tries to kind of speed it up a little bit or whether she keeps it at this pace.
Just looks so relaxed, the two in the centre. And they are catching the early leader now, Ida Cragg. Sophie Main trying to work to get back on terms with the two inside her. She's looking good at the moment for a place in that top 10. Ida Cragg just dropping off that early pace there as Lucy Hope comes and takes up the running as they go into the 300 mark.
So also note we've got a 14-year-old here in lane 8, Zara Kravich, and she's actually producing faster 50 times as well. So even although it's sometimes difficult out in the outside lanes to keep going, but she's obviously got the mindset to have a good swim this morning, and at 14 doing really well in this heat.
Yeah, she way down one line, down from the bottom of your screen as we're looking at it there. Nice little contest there at the top there in lanes 2 and 3. That might be vital when they come to be handing out the places in the top 10 here. Lanes leading 4 look like they are safe enough into the final, and Freya Colbert just pulling alongside Lucy Hope now.
Yeah, she sat there, hasn't she, quite comfortably in that first 100, 350, sorry, and you can see her now just coming through. That obviously was the plan this morning to get to the final tonight, and I know she's got quite a big programme on here at the Glasgow International, so it'll be good to see what time she can do tonight.
So Freya Colbert, British champion, into the wall first, 4:26.94 for her. That'll be comfortably into the final tonight. Lucy Hope will be there as well, I'm sure. Ida Cragg and Sophie Main. And Susie McNair just winning that close contest there, 4:36 for Susie McNair, just ahead of Norden. Swims in 4:36.84, the Swedish swimmer. So Freya Colbert looking very comfortable indeed. Going to add another place on the podium here in the Glasgow International Swim Meet 2023. And we'll see what they... Oh, I thought we were going to see what the top 10 were, but we weren't. We're going to move on to the next one.
The races are coming thick and fast this morning.
Yeah. I was going to see if that time by Susie McNair was good enough to make it into the top 10. She can't be far away from that, I don't think. Let's see if we can see something as we move on to the men's event here. Oh, I think Susie McNair actually, but according to our screens, was 12th position there. Coco Croxford looks like it's the last one into the top 10 as they stand at the minute.
It's another 15-year-old there that's going to potentially make the A final. So female athletes are really good this weekend.
So 400 freestyle for the men kicks us off now. We saw the lineup there on the screen. Alfie Churches in lane 0 for City of Glasgow. Lewis Gibson from South Ayrshire. Lane number 1, Connor Stewart from Stirling. In 2, Ewan Weir from Dundee City Aquatic goes in lane number 3. Ewan Jones from West Lothian in 4. Rory Calvert from First in lane number 5. Keane Smith from City of Glasgow in 6. Early leader is Jensen Norris from Perth City in 7. And Sean Donnellan from Swim Ireland in lane number 8. So already mentioned Jensen Norris.
Yep.
Back in again, going well in the early part of this 400.
Just phenomenal. I mean, certainly now, as I say, I think more athletes are taking on the challenge of doing multiple events and sessions, and definitely would recommend that for any of the young athletes out there. It's definitely the way to get a bit more learning as you can, and when you're a bit younger, and definitely progresses your swimming. We look at people like Duncan Scott, and you know the reason he's got the range of events that he has is that at the junior level he used to swim everything, and Hannah Miley as well in the female ranks. You know, Hannah, I don't think there's an event that Hannah hasn't done. So you know, there's a path there that everyone can see that works.
Yeah, multiple record holder Hannah Miley, certainly at Scottish level as well. And I do remember a couple of years back, I think, trying to tally up how many Scottish titles that Hannah Miley had won at the Scottish Nationals one year. And even she was struggling when we were speaking to her. She was like, oh, goodness, no one's ever asked me that before. And she was trying to tally it up, and it was, dozens.
And the good thing, I think, when we used to watch, as certainly as coaches in the sideline, we used to watch and think how, you know, because as you suggest, you know, she would swim, do a swim down, and then go back in and do another swim, and that just seemed to be the same. It would rinse and repeat for the same for every session. But I don't think I ever heard her once complain. She was always willing to just go that little bit extra, do that little bit more, and where I think, you know, she always used to say physically, stature-wise, she wasn't the biggest athlete that's ever swam, but what she didn't have in kind of physical attributes, she more than made up from a mindset thing and from an actual performance. She was willing to take on any challenge, which is an amazing thing to have in your locker.
Absolutely. She wasn't the biggest, as you said, but certainly one of the toughest.
Well, sometimes we felt sorry for her, but she just seemed to get on with it, which was nice.
So, looks like Sean Donnellan, and that green cap of Ireland, is leading them through into the 300 mark.
Quite a big contingent from Ireland over here. It's good to see. There's a few coaches, obviously. We've had Mona and a few others last night do so well, and it's good to see Sean out here in lane 8 performing this morning. 3:17. He's going to be possibly just outside where his entry time is, but he's only 16. Good opportunity this morning to swim against these senior athletes, and it's always better if you can do that away from home. So these guys obviously, you know, have had to travel, stay in hotels, and get used to what would effectively be an away competition. So good swim this morning.
Yeah, they've been regular visitors to Scotland, the Irish team, in the last couple of years, certainly. Again, since after the pandemic, we've seen them coming to Scottish events fairly regularly.
We've got a few Scottish coaches over there, I guess,
yeah,
that like to come
influence
back to the homeland. And obviously John Rudd heading it up over there in Ireland, doing an amazing job when you think what they're starting to achieve and some of the athletes have got.
So here's Sean coming in now. Sean Donnellan into the finish in 4:20.13 for him. Big lead over the rest of the field here. Ewan Weir coming in second, and Jensen Norris, that good start, kind of dipped a little in the middle in terms of position, but came back strongly at the end there. Young man from Perth, and Ewan Jones in at 4th position. And there's the result. Jensen Norris taking 3rd, Ewan Weir 2nd, but Sean Donnellan clear victory there, 4:20 for the Irishman in the outside lanes. That's a nice improvement on the entry time. Big improvement, in fact, in 4:29. So we have Gregor Skinner in 0, James Borey from Geary in 1, Stephen Kravitz, he's slowly in 2, Andrew Bertoli and Jack McMillan, Stirling University is in 3 and 4, Michael Flynn in 5, Luke Hornsey in 6 from East Lothian, Josh Press from Stirling Uni in 7, Sid Argulin, again another one back in the water again very quickly, he goes in lane number 8, Jonathan Venter from Perth City, another swimmer from Perth City, goes in the outside lane in lane number 9. Because you were talking to Anne Dixon there.
Yeah.
Great record with the distance swimmer Stephen Milne, of course, very hugely successful. Medalist in all the major championships, I think Stephen Milne, Olympics, World Championships, Commonwealth Games, incredible for a relatively small club, Perth City.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, we said yesterday, small club with big ambitions. I think you just need to find the right athletes with the right coaches and the right programmes. And yeah, I don't think there's any barrier. We said yesterday as well on the stream. The good thing about swimming is if you touch the wall first, they've got to take you. So, in these trials, what Stephen Milne especially did over the years was, he showed up at every single one of these trials, and it was known maybe, I guess, more for 1500 at the start, but came down to the 200s to be an absolute major part of that GB 200, 4x200 team, and as you say, he benefited from lots of medals from that. And I think he's helping Scottish swimming now. I'm pretty sure he's here in the West doing one of the jobs with Scottish swimming, so it's good to see that these athletes that have these experiences are starting to pass that on to the next generation.
Yeah, certainly good. Stephen's still involved with Scottish swimming, that's for sure. Look at this race here of 5 swimmers all in a row as they go towards the halfway point.
I think the more I see Jack here, I think the more impressed I get. Like the 200 last night was really smooth, really clean. Obviously Duncan just pipped him there at the finish, but you can see this morning here he's really kind of swimming within himself, stroking this out really nice, and yeah, I can't wait to see that in the finals tonight. That's going to be a real challenge tonight, I think.
Jack McMillan in at lane number 4, just behind Michael Flynn now in lane number 5 with that blue cap. City of Glasgow. Luke Hornsey doing well in lane 6 as well, and also lane 3 Andrew Bertoli. Maybe Stefan Kravic might just be getting slightly dropped by the others there as they go over the 250 mark, but not out of it just yet. But it's a real tussle at the front of the field here.
It's a dogfight, isn't it? And I think you mentioned Stefan, what a range of events he's got as well, and we definitely see the benefit of all of the hard work he's been doing up there with Jamie and the team at East Lothian. An amazing athlete, and just to see him in this field I think is good, because he's certainly the youngest out of that group, and it'll be a interesting last 100 here to see who actually wants to try and come in first.
Yeah, well, Jack McMillan just taking up the running there, but not by much, 3/100ths of a second there. It was a good turn by Andrew Bertoli, taking him just with that very slight advantage there. And Luke Hornsey looks like he's made a bit of a bid here. In lane number 6, Luke Hornsey might just have the lead here. It's a very fast split there, 30.7, almost a second faster than everyone else there on that 50.
Sometimes when you get into these events and you're a group like that, you can just sit on the shoulders, and from nowhere you can produce splits like that. So you see Jack winding it up here. I think he wants to finish first in this heat.
So Jack McMillan coming in now, just keeping an eye, a couple of lanes across on Luke Hornsey, and reaches for the wall and wins it by a 1/10 of a second in the end from Luke Hornsey. So again improved that. It's a very fast last split again from Jack McMillan. Luke Hornsey a fast split as well, and Stefan Kravic finished well, 29.64 on that final 50. And top 4 swimmers under the 4:10 mark, with Michael Flynn just on 4:10.4.
And Stefan actually inside his entry time there, so I don't know if his entry time is his personal best, but an impressive start this morning from Stefan. I know he did a few finals last night and performed well, but yeah, range of events is increasing, which is nice to see.
Maybe the pace of that one maybe suited Stefan there. Guys inside him were slightly down on their entry times, and that helped the 17-year-old, I think, just keep a pace with the swimmers in front of him. Managed just to get that little bit of a spurt at the end. So I think we have everyone. Just having a second look there. We didn't get a reaction time for Jack Munsey, but he's certainly in the water. Kai Connolly goes in 0 for City of Glasgow. Jack Simpson, East Kilbride in 1. Dennis O'Brien from Swim Ireland in 2. Cameron Travis in 3 from University of Aberdeen Performance. We have Charlie Hutchison from Loughborough Performance. He goes in lane number 4. Jack Munsey, the winner of the 1500, goes in lane 5. Arthur Logan Edinburgh University in 6, Scott Fleming, East Kilbride in 7, Nathan Campbell, Stirling in 8, and Connor Aspinall from East Lothian, another 14-year-old in the outside lane.
And yeah, it's good to see Connor did well yesterday as well. I think he made a few finals last night, but interesting. Charlie, I guess, in lane 4, more kind of familiar with the 400 IM. Good to see him in the 400 front crawl. And Jack, as you say, just seems to be getting better. You know, at 20 years old, his times and his performances seem to be getting better. So I think this will be closely contested. It'll be interesting to see the two of them at the end of this, is to see whether they want to post a time this morning or whether they want to just make the final. That will be the intriguing part. But on the outside, you've got a few good swimmers who've obviously performed well over the week. You know, Scott Fleming's had some excellent swims over the weekend that we've had. I would say Connor, I think, certainly from yesterday's live streams, was really good in a few events yesterday morning.
Yeah, it's a name recognised from Friday as well when we were doing the live stream. So it's, if you recognise the names, it often means they're at the front of their heat, which is good because they're bang on their entry times or faster than their entry times. So if you're mentioning them a lot, that's a good sign.
I did speak to Jamie, his coach, and you know, we've got the usual coach response, which he's doing okay. So that must mean that he's doing okay.
Yeah. Don't overplay it.
Don't overplay it. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes there is a bit of perspective. Certainly when you're coaching, you've got to make sure you understand what kind of meets you're in. You know, I think when we get to the summer meets, then you know you've got to get yourself up and on a high. And here, this is certainly seen as a meet that will take you into that time of the season when you want to be swimming your best times. So, you know, there is a bit of perspective definitely on these meets. But what we always try and say is, you know, you should celebrate success. You know, if you're particularly done well in certain events or over the weekend, then it's always important to celebrate that, because you never know when the next time that will come around. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with a bit of aspiration and a bit of hope for the summer meets.
Of course, the timing of this meet kind of means it's, you know, everybody's got their own markers, haven't they, going into the summer. You know, they're all in kind of different positions. You've got swimmers here going to the World Championships in Japan, the World Para Championships as well, and first week in August, the end of July as well. So these guys will be kind of ramping up towards that, and others as well, aiming for the summer meets, as you said, and of course other targets as well.
Yeah, and it's quite funny, and the British swimming are kind of closing that window for the qualification for the summer meets, so this is just outside that window. Which seems a bit strange, but I understand why. I know British swimming their policy is to try and get people to kind of stand up on a day and perform, so they're trying to narrow that window as much as they can so that they can actually kind of, I guess, practice what it's going to be like when they're actually senior swimmers.
For that qualification window for the big events. Charlie Hutchison in 4:03.71. It was a nice second half there for Charlie Hutchison. Jack Munsey in second, Cameron Travis in third, and Arthur Logan in fourth place there. So that top four a little bit faster, I think, than we saw in that previous heat. But again, 4 under the 4:10 mark and 1 on the 4:11 mark here. So I think that top 5 there might be in the top 10 overall, I think so. My maths is correct.
Yep. And a nice swim there by Charlie. Really kind of stretched that out on that last 200. Looks comfortable on front crawl, but he's got, I don't think there's a weakness now. He's got 4 really good strokes.
Yeah, there we go. And it was 4:11.94 for Dennis O'Brien, making it into that top 10 provisionally, of course. We'll see what the afternoon session has to offer in the 400, but I think they can be quite happy with their positions this morning, that top 10. Connor Aspinall just making it in there in 20th position in that 4:27, so just ahead of Ewan Jones, who's lying in 21st at the minute. Oh, we're hearing we do have a swim off. Oh, exciting times! Is that reserve place that we called early?
I think you could be right there. I think I must admit. The coaches have had their way.
There we go. So was it Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do a swim off? It's another chance for a swim, isn't it?
I agree, and certainly, yeah. I think just sometimes at the senior level, you know, maybe the focus isn't that event, and the kids will like to not swim. But I agree, they always swim faster in swim offs as well. We've seen yesterday 2 seconds faster in one of the swim offs, which obviously frustrates the coaches enormously. But yeah,
It's the end of the session as well. It's not as if you've got another event just about to come on.
I know.
But 100 backstroke is underway already. 6 heats I was going to say, but it's not. It's 5 heats of the women's. Orla Miles from South Aberdeenshire in 0. Jocelyn McKenzie from Logain Bearsden in 1. Abigail Crawford and Anna Kachenko, City of Glasgow swimmers in 2 and 3. We have Alex Coy from Warrender in 4. Nuala Gow from Geary in lane 5. Layla Weatherspoon leads them through from Hart to Midlothian in lane 6. Lucy McLeod from first in lane 7, and Emily Cumming from Kinross in lane number 8. Nice start there from Weatherspoon, the Hart Midlothian swimmer. Again, a few youngsters in this one.
Yeah, and a few that did well at the national age groups. So there's a couple of age group champions, I think, in there, if I'm right in saying, in the back crawl. So Abigail in 2, who's coming through the field just now, did well up there. But it looks like Anna in 3 that's going to potentially take this one.
Yeah, Kachenko just into the wall there in 1:10.48. Lucy McLeod and the early leader Layla Weatherspoon fighting it out for second position there, only separated by 0.13 of a second. But Anna Kachenko takes that one. City of Glasgow take the honours.
Really good in training, a good kid to coach, if I'm honest with you. So it's nice to see her progress. I think her times have really progressed over the last year since she's been in Scotland. So.
And the City of Glasgow, is this their home? This is a main base here? Or they have satellite pools?
There is pools that they swim in, but the majority of the performance squads will swim here in Tollcross. And if I'm honest with you, Paul, I think there's nowhere like it. If I'm honest, I think all the events that you can remember in here, we were talking about lane 9 and Duncan winning his gold in the European Championships here and stuff. So lots of memories now in this pool.
Absolutely. And Commonwealth Games as well.
Yep. We try and remind all the athletes just the amount of kind of world class swims that have been in this pool.
Well, City of Glasgow represented in this one. Sophia Smith from first goes in 0. 2 City of Glasgow's in 1 and 2. Rosie Liston and Safrina Machin. We have Melissa Minnie from East Kilbride in 3. Faith Yuda from Edinburgh Uni in 4. Ailey Armstrong, East Lothian in 5. 2 from Hamilton, Kirsty Gilmore and Emma McGavin. They go in 6 and 7. Grace Courtney from East Lothian in 8. And Libby Doubleday from Stirling University in lane number 9. Good start there in lane number 5, East Lothian. It's Ailey Armstrong, 32.00. Fast out.
Really strong start, and took it off the start as well. So just even the first 2 strokes, we always encourage the athletes to be at their fastest on the first 2 strokes off the start, and Ailey just took it straight from the start.
Yeah, Faith Yuda now beginning to press Melissa Menny as well. It was good in the 200. Melissa Menny, I think I remember her swimming fast in her heat, taking that heat, but it looks like Ailey Armstrong might just maintain that lead, or does she? Oh, just 0.2 of a second there. Just seemed to, I'm not sure if she caught that finish absolutely correct, or maybe she did.
No, she did an extra stroke there, didn't she, in the end? So she just kind of reached out. She would have hit the wall. We were talking about this yesterday. It's difficult in back crawl because it's difficult to spot the finish, but it's quite scary sometimes. There's a few finger injuries, should we say, when we get to championships, especially down when we're at the British Championships and people are throwing everything at the wall. It can be a dangerous sport, this back crawl.
Oh, again, it's experience though, because you've obviously got the backstroke flags.
Yep.
But in the heat of competition, sometimes they just come up too quickly, and you think, oh, there's the flags, where am I?
Yeah, and
sort of thing.
I know from my own time, sometimes your mind's working overtime, and when you get to the flags, you miss them. But yeah, good disciplined athletes will understand. And the important thing is you need to know how many strokes to the wall for both arms, because it's not always going to be the case you're going to go with your right arm first. It will always be both arms.
So into the first of the seeded heats, so we'll see some of the faster swimmers in the centre lane. Lucy Lucas goes in lane number 0, Grace Davidson in 1, Melissa Mainwaring in 2, Yasmin Hammerline in 3, Maria Gordon, medalist in the 50 and in the 200 backstrokes already the last couple of days. She goes in 4, Anna Green in 5, Volker Tind in 6, Martine Damborg in 7, Catherine Menfrew in 8, and Katie Rose back in the water again in lane number 9. It's Maria Gordon. No, well, she's been great. She's been mixing it with the kind of big names for the GB swimmers in this backstroke event. And look at this, stretching away well ahead of the rest of the field here.
Really impressive, and look at that stroke, the technique. That head's just not moving at all, and all that power is going through the arms.
And into the last couple of strokes here, Maria Gordon in 102.42 for her. Again, it's second outside the meet record, just a second outside her entry time as well. So Maria Gordon looking in great position here. 102.42, that'll certainly be in the top 10, you would think.
I think so, and deservedly so. An amazing swim there, I think. It's nice when technically swimmers get that correct. It just makes such a difference.
Here's the lineup for the second heat. Ella Stevenson goes in 0 from City of Glasgow. Ida Fredrickson, Denmark in 1. Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow in 2. Ella Shields from Edinburgh University in 3. Kathleen Dawson, winner of the 50 yesterday, she goes in lane number 4. Holly McGill in 5 from Heart of Midlothian. Emma Krogh and Rika Kanstrup, the Danish swimmers, in 6 and 7. Kiana Kurtza in lane 8 from Warrender, and Zoe Crawford from first in lane number 9. It's good to see Kathleen Dawson back in the water, Scott.
Absolutely. How unlucky. Two major injuries already at this stage in her career, and looked fantastic last night in the final of the 50. I can't wait to see the time here.
She looked good in the 200 in the heats, but didn't take part in the final. But again, just working her way back in. It's great to see, of course, Olympic champion in the mixed medley relay in Tokyo. And just like myself, born in Kirkcaldy.
There you go.
Another Fifer.
All good things come for Fife. No, I think I'm really excited by Kathleen and her swimming. Obviously, years ago, European Championships went under the minute, first time, and it seems an age, and unfortunately.
Yeah, London, was it 2016?
London 2016, and I was at that session, and it was amazing. But I think the potential for her is not just that mix really, but I think individual. She would be in the mix, I think, for the individual titles in the summer if she can get fit again.
Yeah, she is into the wall now. 101.63, just ahead of the time in that previous heat. So another good performance there for Kathleen Dawson. 31.58 on that first 50, and 101.63. So 31.58 on a 30-point was our splits there. Holly McGill in second place there, just getting ahead of Emma Creel, and Ella Shields in third. So 3 on the 104 range, but Kathleen Dawson surely secured her place in that top 10 there. Maria Gordon as well, looking good for that one. And these two likely to be up against the likes of Maddie Harris. So we've seen these 3 swimmers kind of fight it out this weekend. We'll see what Maddie Harris can do. Swansea swimmer.
Yeah, and Kathleen last night, she moved it on in the final, so it'll be interesting, I think, tonight, and just picked Maddie at the last second in the 50. So it'll be good to see what time Maddie posts this morning, but certainly this evening that'll be one of the best finals I've ever thought tonight.
So the lineup for this one: Murray Wood, Kira Sterker, Amy Shields, Olivia Butler, Maddie Harris, Emily Grant, Lauren Bradley Holt. I don't think we have anyone in 7. do have someone in 7. Florence Tilsley in 7, I think. No one in 8, but we do have Ida Son in lane number 9. So yes, Mary Harris going out into that early lead. What a record that she has had over the last year or so. Commonwealth Games medalist, of course, and European medalist, British champion. She's kind of taken up the mantle in Kathleen Dawson's absence, hasn't she, through injury?
Yeah, there seemed to be a gap, and we were talking yesterday. I mean, success breeds success. She seemed to come out the pack of girls that were behind at the time when Kathleen was doing so well, and I think she's really challenging. As I say, I think between the two of them, we'll see who can do better in the summer. But it's great to have two athletes of that quality.
Oh, there we go, and a 1 minute .77, and that's going to be a first meet record of the morning, I think. Looking good, Mary Harris, 1 minute .77. Well, meet record has gone, keeping up the record of a meet record in every session of these championships. Olivia Butler in second place in the 104, Florence Tilsley. And there is the top 10. It was 105 dead to get into that top 10. But the big three are all through. Mary Harris with that meet record, Kathleen Dawson and Maria Godin. It's going to be a fascinating one again tonight.
I'd like to think that someone will just go under that minute tonight. It's obviously a nice magical barrier. It doesn't happen very often up here, and certainly any one of the three girls are capable of doing that tonight.
So great stuff from the backstrokers there, setting up another interesting final tonight. And the men's backstroke is next to come in as we see the swimmers there. All the times for the swimmers from the 5 heats of that 100 metres backstroke. Got 5 heats of the men's as well. And this is the first one. Gregor Ross from City of Glasgow, Mulgai and Bearsden, Callum MacArthur and Rory Hall. Luke Scott from Dumfries goes in 4. Nikolai Sisnet from City of Glasgow in lane 5. Adam Miller from Shetland in 6. Cameron Shaw from first in lane 7. Jed Armitage from Highland in lane number 8.
Yeah, Nikolai here, 13, made the B final in the 50 metres last night and is immediately taking this one out. So obviously fancies another personal best in this stroke. I think his back crawl, I mean, he's been fantastic in all events, but his back crawl, particularly this weekend, has been outstanding for a 13-year-old boy.
Is that something that you, as a coach, you know, he does a number of events. There's one kind of outstanding events as a 13-year-old. What do you say to him? Do you say, right, work on the backstroke, or is it still generally, right, work on all your strokes?
Tend to work on all the strokes, if I'm honest with you. I mean, certainly when we get to kind of British championships, we'll maybe specialise a little bit, or focus a little bit in the ones that he's qualified for. But yeah, he's just finding his way in swimming here. I think from Nikolai, he's part of the school of sport here, and yep, he's getting a good all-round swimming education.
Well, he's come in 104.24, and that is a big improvement on the entry time of 105.60. So the young man, the 13-year-old, leading the way there. Luke Scott in second, Callum MacArthur in third place, just half a second ahead of Rory Hall, but that was impressive stuff again.
I mean, he's swimming there. You just even think about the call room and the kind of environment that we're in, and the pool. You know, there's men in there at 20-year-old and 18 and 13-year-olds have got the confidence to stand up there and swim as well as he has. It's pretty impressive at that age.
Well, he set the target for this next heat, 104.24 for Nikolai Sisnet. And the second heat sees Callum Mackenzie in 0, Benji Jeffries, South Ayrshire in lane number 1. Kane Smith and David Landman, City of Glasgow in 2 and 3. Oliver Tykeson, Stirling University in 4. Matthew McMillan in lane number 5 for Incas. Torrin Liversedge from South Aberdeenshire in 6. Richard Laws from Cooper in 7. Blair McKean goes in 8 for Bells Hill, and Andrew Smitten from South Aberdeenshire, second South Aberdeenshire swimmer. He goes in lane number 9.
A couple of the couple of the men there close to the 15 metres there when they were coming off the start, so I don't see MD running her out with reports, so they must be okay. But certainly at this age group and at this kind of experience, then you'd expect to use as much of that 15 off the start as you can.
Well, Matthew McMillan, so he's off to a good start there, very fast start from Matthew McMillan, but they're trying to play catch up now. The man from Incas in lane number 5. It's going to be closer at the final stages, but McMillan's found something else here, and he is going to keep his lead, clear lead in the end actually, in 104.86 for Matthew McMillan. Be pleased to get in ahead of that one.
Really good stroke rate there. He kept that all the way through. It looked in the first 50 he might not be able to keep that stroke rate up, but he's kept that all the way through, and he's got the rewards. I think what we've seen certainly over the weekend is that the athletes that are willing to go out just that little bit faster are getting some rewards this weekend. So having that confidence that you've got the back end to finish these races, if you get yourself out, you give yourself a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see Matthew doing well. It's one with his dad and his uncle and his aunt.
It must be a
back
Fife.
in the day.
Must be a Fife thing, is it?
Like swimming family.
Swim family. Yeah. Hopefully,
the next generation.
Hopefully in different sessions. But there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see the name. I mean, Incas was a name that was, synonymous when I was swimming. A fantastic club, fantastic history, and we've seen that with Monifeith and a few other clubs yesterday. There's some names that just keep producing athletes, and we've said that all the way through. I think you get the right athletes with the right coach and the right program, it's going to work.
Yeah. Well, Incas used to have a lot of water polo players that played for Carnegie Water Polo Club in Dunfermline. They swam for Incas in the pool swimming events, and they're swift over the 50s. My goodness.
Used to have a water polo team when I started out in Motherwell way back, and nobody could touch the guys over 10 metres, I'm afraid.
Well, next seat's in. Fraser Wilson, University of Aberdeen performance in 0. Cameron Doran, City of Glasgow in 1. Brandon Biss from Ireland in 2. Arian Zampras from Stars, one of the Greek swimmers in lane 3. Zach Speakman and Sam Pease in the middle lanes there for Stirling University. Conor Massey, University of Aberdeen performance in 6. Callum Peebles in 7 from East Lothian. Ewan Beattie from Warrender in 8, and Tom Armitage from Highland in lane number 9. So Stirling Uni 4 and 5, looking good at this stage. Seeded heats, of course. Zach Speakman, one of the favourites for this one.
Having a good morning, I think. Stirling, the athletes have certainly come out faster this morning, which is nice.
Speakman's going to be beaten by his teammate Sam Pease. 56.58 for Sam Pease. That's a decent time for him, just 0.2 of a second shy of his entry time. 57.94 for Speakman in second place, and the Greek swimmer in third there, Zampras. So 56.58. That's a nice target there for the heats to come.
Yep.
Top 4 swimmers under the 1 minute mark, so it looks like it's going to be well under the 1 minute for the top 10 here.
Certainly does, and it's good to see. You mentioned the Greece athletes. It's good to see the Greek athletes here under Kostas, who people know was Warner coach for a long time. It's nice to see him back at these meets, but obviously understands the value of taking athletes abroad to see different competitions around the world, which is nice to see them here.
Greeks here last year, a couple of meet records was held by the Greeks as well, so regular visitors here at Glasgow. Here is the lineup for heat number 4, that's Corey Phillip, closest to us, the youngest in this field at 15 years of age. From the top, Jack Topley Simpson, at Brydenburn, Robert Pedersen, Robert Burgess, Charlie Brown, Jamie Ferguson, Nicholas Costello, Charlie Poole and Greer van der Meulen. And again, Charlie Brown, one of the favourites of this one, the Loughborough swimmer. 54.91, just missed out on the top spot in the 200. Jamie Ferguson right next to him. Those two look like they are stretching away. It's the traditional kind of spearhead at the front of the field here, and middle lane's leading.
Nice swim here this morning here by Charlie, really taking this one out, as I say, from the first 50. A few guys around him getting pulled through. Jamie in 5, who's coming through.
And looks like might be Jamie Ferguson, probably Nicholas Castella challenging there at the very end. Came through in that second 50 as Charlie Brown eased off into 4th position. So the top 2 in the 57, top 3 in the 57 range actually, the 2 Danish swimmers, just dipping under that 58 second mark, and Charlie Brown 58.40. That's going to be tight to make that top 10, I think.
It's quite funny that I think he did ease down on the last 10-15 there. I don't know if he realised how many athletes were around him at that point in time, but that's going to be tight, I think, for the final. He's certainly not going to be in the centre lanes if he does make the final indeed.
Yeah, a couple more Danes to come in this one. Another Van der Meulen brothers in this one. Logan Van der Meulen in 0, Christian Thorhaug and Mads Moller. We've seen them already this week. They go in 1 and 2. Jamie Robertson in 3 for Stirling University. Scott Gibson, the winner of the 50. Expect him to be out fast. In fact, no one in 3, so we don't have Jamie Robertson. Scott Gibson in 4. We have Jordan McPhail in 5. John Short was very impressive in the 200. He goes in 6. Again, a youngster from Aberdeen Dolphins, Dean Fern, the 15-year-old in lane 7. Owen Williamson in 8, and Adam Scott ran 96 in lane number 9. So, interesting one, this one.
I think you've got a kind of style. You've got a 200 back crawl on a 50. Scott Gibson won the 50 last night, and looks in good form, and he's certainly taking this one out. But as you see, there's there's that people coming down for the 200 and folk going up from the 50. So this could be a good final, a good close final tonight.
Well, Scott Gibson is expected, took them out fast, but John Short, the 200 champion with that green cap of Ireland, is just bringing them through, and he's bringing the youngster through with him as well. Dean Fern in lane 7 from Aberdeen Dolphins. Looks like the Irishman is going to get this one. He's on his way to the World Championships for the Irish team. Scott Gibson in 2nd in 56 point, and it was Dean Fern 57.77. Another swimmer on the 57 range was Jordan McPhail as well. So reasonably fast last heat there. Scott Gibson looked good in the early stages there, but the kind of power of the 200 backstroker came through in the second 50.
I think that's the bit that Scott's working on, is that second 50. There's certainly not there's no need to work on the speed. He's as fast as any of the back crawlers we've got in Great Britain today. It's just a case of he needs to finish that 100.
Oh, Charlie Brown just giving, look at that, 3 swimmers on 7th position there. Wow, 57.94. Charlie Brown knew what he was doing, obviously.
Well, must have more confidence than us, I think. It's safe to say, but it will be interesting. He'll have an outside lane, and certainly in back crawl, it's hard enough to see anyone in the pool. So, we know what he's capable of. His time, is close to being at the top of this. So, it'll be interesting. The final. There's certainly an outside smoker there if he does keep his place.
Yeah, there wasn't much really. 58.40 there for Charlie Brown. We thought he eased back a little bit in the closing stages of that one. So, just a second or so improvement, and he's right in the mix, isn't he?
Well, he's on the programme this morning, 54.91. So, you've got to expect he's maybe not at his best just now in the season, but you've got to think a 56 or something would be capable of doing at this point in time. So it'll be interesting tonight, but yeah. Outside smokers. Lane 0 did well yesterday. I think there was about, in the afternoon session, we had about 5 or 6 winners from Lane 0. So
they seem to do well. Lane 0 seemed to do well in the afternoon session on Friday as well.
We were.
Is this pool on a slant? Is it on a diagonal?
I think there's
a short lane up there.
There's a jet stream, I think. Jet stream up Lane 0, but yeah, we were going to put the die in the pool to see if it actually moved just in Lane 0.
Well, they're away for the 200 breaststroke. It is 5 heats of this 200 breaststroke. Amy Owenson from Best in lane number 1, Cara White from Ren 96 in lane number 2. Daisy McInnes from City of Glasgow goes in 3. Jessica Kirkwood, University of Aberdeen Performance, goes in lane number 4, just contesting for the lead there at the first 50. Ellen McPhee from Faldhouse in 5. Katie Towers from Lanark in 6. Ellen Denny from Geary in 7. Lexi Lamont goes in 8 for Aberdeen. So it looks like University of Aberdeen Performance swimmer in the top of those 2 yellow marked lanes. Lane number 4, Jessica Kirkwood. Oh, they come to the halfway point. Daisy McInnes from City of Glasgow right there in the mix again. A few 14-year-olds in on this one, Scott.
It's great, I think, in the quality of this field. You know, just to be around the athletes that we're still to see coming up in the final heats for these 14, 15, 16-year-old girls. There is an opportunity, and we talked about yesterday the 100 breaststroke in the final last night. That was a truly world-class times that the 2 girls did at the head of that race, and to be around them this morning in the 200 for these young athletes is a great opportunity to learn and get better. I think the 200 breaststrokes, there's a little gap there, I think, for someone if in Scotland, if we can get someone over the line. We've certainly got quite a few 50 and 100 breaststroke female athletes, but for these girls here in the first heat, the aim would be to get up to this kind of 200 standard and push these older girls.
Well, the one who's showing at the moment is one of the 14-year-olds, and that is Daisy McInnes from City of Glasgow, the home swimmer. Really looking very good in this second 50, second 100, I should say, Daisy McInnes. She was looking at those green and red times on the scoreboard here in the venue. She was getting faster on that third 50. Not always an easy thing to do in a 200 breaststroke, and she comes home in at 253.75 with Katie Towers in second position, 258, with Jessica Kirkwood down in third place, but a 5-second win for the young swimmer Daisy McInnes.
And she'll be delighted with that, and as you say, the build that happened there is really key if you can manage it. And, you know, it's not that they're getting faster on the second 100, they're just slowing down slower than anyone else, and if you can hold your stroke and your stroke rate, which happened there with Daisy, then you know, you can see the benefits in breaststroke.
So good improvement there for Daisy, a couple of seconds inside her entry time. And I think we've one swimmer missing on this second heat of the 5 heats. Erica Watt from Heart of Midlothian goes in 0. Leon and Medborough from Incas in 1. It's Ailey Armstrong from East Lothian in 2, next to her namesake Ailey McNair from Mulgine Bearsden in 3. Sarah Smith from Warrender in 4. Lauren Anderson from West Lothian in 5. Anna Ron from Denmark in 6. Natalie Cooper from Warrender in 7. Ava Ross in 8 from City of Glasgow. And no swimmer in lane number 9. Oh, Anna Ron. Off to a huge first 50 there.
You've got to wonder. I mean, there's fantastic athletes from Denmark over here, but you've got to wonder if this is a season best or a PB that she's got, and it might just be a season best, and that you know, what we're actually seeing is her where she would normally be. It's difficult to say, obviously, because we don't have access to all the times that she's done, but certainly this first 100, she's taken this right out. Nice and long, nice and smooth.
Yeah, she looks in a class of her own at the minute. She comes up to the halfway point. Oh, she said yesterday the likes of Laura Stevens doing the, you know, 2 lots of butterfly, maybe a 200 butterfly in the freestyle events. Occasionally you see the swimmers in the 200 breaststroke maybe go for a split time in the 50 and the 100, but doesn't look like it's happening with this with Anna Ron, does it?
This will be good. This will be a time that I think will get her into one of the finals tonight. It'll be interesting to see how close she can get, but Yeah, this kind of improvement is generally not the case, so I'm guessing this is a season best time that she's been entered in, and not her actual personal best. And I guess what we're seeing here is an athlete who's back to their best.
As she touched the wall there was literally no one else in the picture. Second position just at that turn as we concentrate on the leader coming down. Head-on shot, Zara Smith in second place, Hayley McNair in third spot with Leona Bedborough just in fourth place there. But here is the leader. I love these head-on shots. It's great shots you get. And as a coach, you must love the kind of footage you get from these events.
And generally we're somewhere around the pool trying to get this footage, but it's nice when it's live streamed like this.
And there is Anna Ron, 241.41. Well, excellent swim there from Anna Ron. We'll just keep an eye on that one as we come through the heats into the seeded heats next. But that is going to be in the shake-up for one of the finals tonight. Leona Bedborough finishing really well there, up there in lane number 1. Another one of the Inca swimmers, swam well in the 50, made the junior final of the 50. And Ava Ross just in third place ahead of Natalie Cooper and Hayley McNair and Sarah Smith. There's 5 swimmers just separated by a second or so there behind the leader.
2 14-year-olds fighting out there for second and third, so you know, as I said earlier, there's a good amount of talent here in Scotland, and these kids will be looking to move that on over the summer.
So another Danish swimmer goes in this one in lane number 3. I wonder if we're going to be in for a similar time from that Danish swimmer. We're into the seeded heats though, so we have Cara Hanlon in the water here. And she'll go out fast in lane number 4. The full lineup: Grace Hanak from East Lothian in 0, Ellie Kennedy and Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow in 1 and 2. Caroline Kelstrup, the Dane, goes in lane number 3. Cara Hanlon, what last couple of days that she has had, she goes in 4. Nuala Gow from Geary in 5. Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatic in 6. Evie Mackey back in the water again, the 14-year-old, goes in 7. Moya Nyblom from Tabisim, Sweden, goes in 8, and Eva Kirkham from first in lane number 9. But Cara Hanlon way and clear ahead of this field already, Scott. She's had a great couple of days. She's had a great year.
Yeah, I think this year she's really taken off, and hopefully in the live stream we'll catch some kind of close-up pictures. I think technically she's just moved her whole technical ability on. I think the length and stroke and the amount of kick, she's certainly getting a bit more power out of that kick than what she did before. And I know from talking to Coach Matt that they're happy. I think they were disappointed. They were just outside the British record last night. It's certainly a target. I don't know for sure that they were thinking she was going to swim so fast at this meet, but incredible performance last night, and what a year. She's definitely had a breakthrough year this year.
Yeah, 50 was very good on day 1 of this competition. The 100 has been the one that the records have been falling for Cara Hanlon. This 200 record is quite a long-standing one. Kirsty Balfour still holds that one.
Yeah, we were talking, I think, about Kirsty yesterday as well. But as I say, I think 200 breaststroke's just been a little bit of a gap for a while on females. But I guess that's because we had some excellent, like Kirsty, we had some excellent breaststrokers before. We sometimes see that in events, but if you were a junior athlete looking for opportunities to, for events that might be good to carry forward, I think 200 breaststroke's certainly one of the ones that there's a space there for it.
So the meet record stands at 2:28.44, held by Lily Booker. That's safe for the moment. Cara Hanlon eases in 2:33 for her. In second place, good contest there for second. Look at that, 3/100ths of a second. Carolina Kelstrup just getting ahead of Nuala Gow, and both of them under the 2:40 mark. But Cara Hanlon away and clear at the front, and building up for another good breaststroke swim here in Tollcross.
Yeah, I think a really smooth, nice, comfortable swim there by Cara. Nuala, I think, yesterday as well. Had swam quite a lot of events, so good to see her again there and just getting touched out, unfortunately, there by the Danish swimmer for third. But I think Nuala mainly, I think, breaststroker, but seems to have all the events in her locker as well. See her in lots of events, which is good.
Now the meet record holder goes in this fourth heat. One more heat to come after this one. Anna de Grossa from Best goes in 0. Emily McGee from Carnoustie goes in lane 1. Ava Jones, Swim Ireland in 2. Ophelia Nordica from Denmark in 3. Lily Booker is the meet record holder. She goes for Loughborough in lane number 4. Alwyn Cook, Edinburgh University in 5. Niamh Connery, a young 15-year-old from Swim Ireland, goes in 6. Ella McGeorge from Cooper in 7. Jessica Schultz, Stirling University in 8. Madeline Patterson from City of Glasgow goes in lane number 9. So 3 15-year-olds in this one. Scott, 2 of them from the Irish team. They're headed now by Lily Booker, who is the meet record holder, as I said, and also had a couple of good swims earlier in the season. Bucks champion and also third in the British Championship. So Lily Booker kind of leading the spearhead at the minute, ahead of Alwyn Cook and Ophelia Nordica as they come to the halfway point.
Don't think we've seen her in the 100. I'm not sure if she swam the 50 on the Friday, but good to see Lily here. 1:13 at the turn, 6:9. So, as you say, meet record holder. Has been good kind of GB stalwart in 200 breaststroke for some time now. Slightly different stroke from what you would see from Cara, and again from Mona. You'll see a kind of more powerful stroke from Mona coming up in a minute, but Lily's always had that ability in this 200 to pace it really well, and the second half of the races have always been really quite consistent and quite strong. So I think we can see that now. She's just comfortably pushing ahead into this last turn.
Well, let's see where she can be in terms of position ahead of Cara Hanlon. Cara Hanlon's time, of course, 2:33.00. And Lily Booker just trying to make sure of that place in the final. Nordica in second position there. Alwyn Cook, top of the Irish swimmers so far. She goes there in lane number 6, but it is going to be Lily Booker. It's going to bring them home. Another one of these head-on shots, which we like to see. Hands coming together very nicely at the front. Very strong kick and glide there in that 200 breaststroke, and that is faster than Cara Hanlon. 2:32.04 for Lily Booker. I'll be comfortably into that final, setting up another good head-to-head with Cara Hanlon, with Mona McSharry still to come, of course.
Yeah, and she looks comfortable there, just even at the end of the race. She's not really kind of puffing too hard. It looked like a strong 100, back 100 there, so it'll be interesting. I think we'll have maybe 2 sprint specialists in kind of Cara and Mona taking that race out, I would have thought. But I think Lily, it'll be interesting tonight to see. I think Lily maybe is the strongest in that second half, so we've seen that there in the heats. It'll be interesting tonight if we see that in the final.
Well, Lily Booker and Cara Hanlon look like they have booked their place in that A final. Mona McSharry hasn't done it yet. She goes very right now in lane number 4. Katie Caldwell in 0. Lucy Nimmo goes in lane number 1. It's Mulgai and Bearsden in City of Glasgow. Susie McNair from Stirling goes in 2. Ailsa MacDonald, Edinburgh University in 3. Mona McSharry, the winner of the 50, just missing. Also winner of the 100 as well, Cara Hanlon. And Mona McSharry having a good battle in that 100 yesterday. Anna Morgan goes in lane number 5 for Edinburgh University. Ciara Davidson in 6 from City of Glasgow. May Rogers from Warrender in 7. Perry Scobie from Stirling in 8. And Sophie Portier from Warrender in lane number 9.
Yeah, it's been good. Mona's been over here quite a lot, even as a young athlete, and it's good to see the progression. There's definitely a progression this year in our performances, and as we said earlier, the Irish swimmers are really kind of coming to the fore over there under John Rudd and that performance programme that's in place now.
And she's been kind of one of the names of Irish swimming for a lot of years now, hasn't she? She's a very young swimmer. She seemed to burst onto the scene.
I think as a young athlete, she was just so powerful. I mean, I remember her coming. I think she was 13 or 14 the first time she came over here, and she was just so powerful. But again, I think when you get a group of athletes together like Ireland have got, I think she's got a bit more confidence now. It seems to be a bit more belief, certainly from kind of looking from afar, not knowing what's happening on the inside. But it must help her having other athletes at the kind of same level as her that are going to world championships and performing on the world stage, because I think there's a confidence in her and there's a drive. I mean, even the stroke there is as powerful, I think, as I've ever seen her swim. So there's definitely the right things happening in the training environment over there, and she seems to be comfortable enough to put all that into practice in the competitions.
Well, she's looking good here. Of course, Olympic swimmer in Tokyo for the Irish team, Lorna McSharry. The meet record was at 2:28.44. Is it going to go now? It certainly is. 2:27.30 for Lorna McSharry. And another meet record goes. So Lily Booker's record has gone this morning. Mona McSharry will take that one. 2:27.30, and that looked pretty comfortable, well within herself, wasn't she?
I think so, and I think at the end there you've seen her just shorten a little bit. I think, as I say, it'll be interesting tonight. We've got, I think, herself and Cara are obviously more known, I guess, for the 50 and the 100, and Lily in the 200. When that back 100, I think we can see a blanket finish tonight, maybe, Paul. It's a prediction. There you go. Possibly the three athletes are definitely going to fight it out for the title tonight, so maybe another meet record tonight.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. Mona McSharry looking very good. She'll take that one. 2:27.30 meet record. Lily Booker lying in second, just ahead of Cara Hanlon. Ophelia Nordiker just in fourth place for Denmark. But Mona McSharry looked really smooth there. Her entry time was only 2:25. Her time in the Olympics was only 2:25 as well. So 2:27, looking relaxed. But sometimes if you're relaxed, you can swim fast, can't you? And other times you try and push it, and you think, God, I put up so much effort into that for such a small improvement on the time. And sometimes it can even be slower if you just push it too much.
She just looks so confident just now. She just looks so kind of comfortable in her own skin. I think there's been a couple of times over the course of her career that she's, as I say, maybe things haven't went as the way she would have wanted them to. But even coming out here and passing us, she just looks as if she's in the zone and she just wants to swim fast. And I think that's coming across in her performances. I mean, even the 200, I think that's as solid a swim I think she's possibly done in the 200 in a morning session.
Well, it's the men's turn now. We've got a nice final set up tonight for the women. What we're going to get with the men, again, some big names for this men's 200 breaststroke to come in the later heats. Heat number 1 sees James Body from Geary right at the top in lane number 0. Johnny Martin from Perth City in 1. Luke Janssen from Warrender, that red cap, goes in lane number 2. Lanark represented again in lane number 3. We have Craig Shaw. Tyler Stewart from East Kilbride leads them through the first 50. He goes in lane number 4. Lachlan Small from Stirling goes in lane number 5. Finlay Bennett from Rutherglen goes in 6. And Kyle Connolly from City of Glasgow in 7. 3 14-year-olds all together in 5, 6 and 7. And Aidan McCavish from first, going pretty well here, closest to us, down in lane number 8. But the leaders in the centre lanes looks like Tyler Stewart, Lachlan Small and Craig Shaw going well in lane number 3 as they go past the halfway. Entry times for these swimmers in the 2:38 through to 2:42. So Tyler Stewart, 2:38, and he's gone through a 1:17, giving himself a chance here at 2:38.
Yeah, he should be certainly within, hopefully within his time there, but he's looking nice and long. It's, I think an indicator will be coming off this last turn. If you can keep the skills and the technique off the last turn in the 200 breaststroke and really push on that last 50, that's, you know, you can lose a lot of time, you can gain a lot of time in the last 50 in a 200.
Yeah, he's coming up to the turn now, final turn. There's a quick glance over at his shoulder there as he goes over that turn. It'll tell Tyler Stewart that he is in the lead, and he's under the 2-minute mark here. Lachlan Small in second position, and I wonder if he's going to be able to hold on to this one. Is he going to get inside that entry time of 2:38.30, coming through strongly? It looks like Luke Jansen coming through strongly right up the top there in lane number 2.
Yep.
Warrender swimmer. That red cap of Warrender into the closing stages. Look like he has timed this one perfectly, and he is going to bring them home. Good swim there in that last 50. Look at that, 40.13. Johnny Martin going well, 38 point on that final 50 for Johnny Martin. That's well faster than anyone else in the field, bringing him through into second place, with Luke Jansen taking that one. First place to him, Johnny Martin in second, and the long time leader in third place.
I think Anne will be pulling her hair out there on that last 50. We always seem to be able to do that. Able to do that last 50, but we do try and encourage the athletes to build through this 200, and you can see that there. And you know, what an amazing kind of finish by Luke.
So this one, Fraser Dow from Perth City, another Perth swimmer in this one, and over at the top. Lewis Gibson, South Ayrshire in 1, Kai Connolly, City of Glasgow in 2, Thomas Traynor, East Kilbride in 3, Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow in lane number 4, Jacob Duncan looks like he is leading them through the early stages of this one. He goes in 5 for Highland. Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow, next to his teammate Gavin Roberts, City of Glasgow. Dylan Mitchell from Warrender in 8, and Benjamin Jones from Lanark in lane number 9.
Quite close here, there's only a few seconds in time, so it'll be interesting to see who takes this one out. I think Jacob in 5 seems to be the one that's taking this out. He's the well, there's two 24-year-olds in this field, Gavin and Jake, but you know, a bit more experience of swimming this, and hopefully, you know, pace this quite right.
Well, coming up to the halfway point. I'm just looking at the meet records here, maybe for the later heats. Of course, James Wilby goes in that final heat. Ross Murder holds the meet record, 2:10.74, holds the British and Scottish record as well. I think set right here, was it, in the Commonwealth Games? It
was, yeah, many moons ago. We had Ross with us in Sheffield at the county championships last year, tail end of last year, and he was talking about that to some of the kids and the experience he had in this pool. But him and James Wilby have had some cracking 200 breaststroke battles over the years, and it's always, I think that's the best events. I don't know, man, I said that to Ross, and he's had some success in the 100, and so has James, but I think they had a traditional 200 base, and they've just managed to be amazing across the spectrum, the 100 and even the 50.
Yeah, some great breaststroking talent for Great Britain over the years, certainly in recent years. Adam Peaty, of course, rewriting the record books, but you know, Ross Murdoch and James Wilby have had their place, haven't they?
I think so, and you know, Michael Jameson, we can't forget the swim he had at the Olympics. I think we've had big athletes in this event, and people that have stood up on the block and done amazing.
So right to the end of this heat, Jacob Duncan takes it, the early leader, has held on to that right to the end, the 24-year-old. 2:37.56 for him. Dylan Mitchell, 2:37.76, almost just snuck in there at the end by 0.2 of a second. Fraser Dow and Benjamin Jones then third and fourth as we go into the first of the seeded heats. Sean Cook in that centre lane from Edinburgh University. Full lineup for this one: Rogers Kringelis right at the top there. Hugo Westholm from Tabisim from Sweden. Liam O'Connor from Ireland. And in lane number 2, Joshua Mitchell from Edinburgh University in 3. Sean Cook from Edinburgh University goes in lane number 4. He'll be the favourite for this one. Angus Allison from Stirling Uni in 5. Matthew Hans from Ireland in 6. Harper Whitehead, Stirling University in 7. Jonas Gower, all these medalists in the 50 and the 100 breaststroke as well. He goes in lane number 8. And Gregor Ross in lane number 9, City of Glasgow. But it's Cook out ahead, 30.33 for the Edinburgh Uni swimmer.
Yeah, any time we see him, it's just so smooth, isn't it? He just seems to be able to glide through that front end of the stroke, and the power in the back half there really propels it. It's a nice, lovely long stroke for a 200 breaststroke.
Yeah, and he will lead them through as a clear lead, as you might expect. We're in the seeded heats here, so he's ranked number 3 out of all of the entry times we've seen for these championships. So he goes into the second half with a big lead of a couple of seconds there ahead of Angus Allison.
I think you'll see Angus in the second 100. He's obviously, you know, I think he's been Scottish champion in this event previously as a junior, but as a senior swimmer athlete, he's possibly more known for IM, but always very good on the back half of races. You know, certainly a few times down at the British Championships, we've seen him produce medals from what seemed like impossible positions. He's definitely an athlete that loves to take this back half and really work hard.
Well, he's certainly pushing into second place. He's not going to catch Sean Cook though as he comes through. Going to take this one comfortably, I think. Entry time of 2:12 for the Irish swimmer, representing Edinburgh University, of course. He comes home in 2:18.64, comfortable swim there. Angus Allison in second, and Jonas Gower, well, mentioned him a little bit earlier on, winning a medal in the 50 and the 100, and he finished very strongly there, 2:23.01. Might be enough to propel him into a place in the final, in the A final. Here's the results. Top 3, 2:18, 2:22 and 2:23.01. So 2 more heats to go, so 2:23, Scott, you think that's going to be enough? Oh yeah.
I think it's just going to get in me. You know, Jonas there produced the fastest 50 of all the athletes there in the last length. So yeah, certainly put himself in the mix.
So one step up here. Connor Mitchell from Warrender in 0. Rafe Dobson from Stirling Uni in 1. Julius Gustafsson from Tabby Sim. Sweden goes in lane number 3. In lane number 3, is Liam Davis from Edinburgh University. Owen Corby's from Ireland in 4. William Ellington, Stirling University in 5. Archie Goodburn in for Edinburgh Uni in 6. Alex Mayer from Stirling Uni in 7. And 2 more from Edinburgh, Charlie Trotman and Aidan Fothergill. Big Edinburgh University presence in this one.
They've done well, I think, over the weekend. They're really pleased, I think, with the performances, especially in the kind of heats. And I did see their Archie went about 16 metres off the start, which is always good to see in breaststroke. You're allowed to go past that 15 metres. He seems to be just keeping it nice and long, even though he's kind of behind Owen Corby here, who's taking this one out.
Yeah, Owen Corby. 1 lane down from him is William Ellington. 1 lane down from him is Archie Goodburn. So it looks like Corby, Davis, Ellington, Gustafsson in 4th position as well. Still have to play for though. Owen Corby got the better of Sean Cook in the Irish Championships. Took the silver and bronze medals respectively. So See what Corby can do with that yellow cap. He's been challenged now by a swimmer in lane number 5. That is Ellington. Ellington from Stirling University. Again, competed in the British Championships, made that final. Sam well in the final of the British Champs, 2:15. And he has gone into the lead very fast. Third 50 there, 34 point.
Incredible third 50. I think Owen now is responding to that, but I think there was something nearly a 2-second gap there between the two swimmers on that one leg.
Well, very much head to head here, and they are putting a lot into this heat. We've seen some relaxed swims in the heats, but Owen Corby doesn't want to be headed here by William Ellington, and he's laid down a marker here saying he's in charge, the man with the green cap. Ellington gets in second place, 2:19.82, 2:20.44. Ian Davis, 2:22.83. So again, top 3 there, all around about, well, 2:23 or better. So 2:23 in that previous heat, looking like it's pretty good at the minute.
Yeah, I think we're just going to be on the cut there, but I do like it when they compete for that last kind of position. I think lane position, certainly in turner breaststroke, is quite important in finals too, so I think Owen didn't want to be out there in an outside lane. Quite rightly, he wanted to finish ahead there.
Yeah, he certainly was looking like he was working hard there on that final few metres there to get ahead of William Ellington. Finlay Wallace for Aberdeen Dolphins goes in lane 0 in this final heat. Nicholas Nyblom from Tabby Sim goes in lane 1. Greg Fairbairn, Stirling University in 2. Rory Dixon, Stirling University in 3. James Wilby, very much the favourite for this one. He will go in lane number 4. George Smith, Pierce Greening and Don Bissett, all Stirling University in 5, 6 and 7. Emil Moravsky from Edinburgh University in 8. And Fraser McIntosh, East Kilbride in lane number 9. Well, so Edinburgh University, a big presence in previous heat. We've got almost half the swimmers in this one from Stirling University.
I know, it's amazing how that happens. They're the two kind of biggest kind of performance centres alongside Aberdeen and Glasgow, and certainly I think both have had a really good weekend, but James Wilby, I think, is back to his best. I think it's smooth, there's virtually no splash. I think hopefully we'll get a front on view at some point, Paul, just to see how technically good this is, but it's, yeah, we've been spoiled by Adam Peaty. Sometimes the times, we look at the times and we think, you know, Adam's taking that event in the 100 especially so kind of far forward, but James's technical ability in this swim is just, I think, second to none. Really, really nice to watch.
Was Commonwealth champion, of course, back in Gold Coast back in 2018 in this 200 breaststroke, and was gold medalist in the 100, I think, last year in Birmingham, silver medalist in this 200, so it's been right there or thereabouts in the major championships, behind Adam Peaty in the 100 breaststroke on a number of occasions over the past few years, and that's no disgrace at all. Adam Peaty, absolutely sensational, and James Wilby has been right there on his shoulder, but he's well ahead of the rest of the field here as he comes into the closing stages. Just check the time. Looking pretty comfortable as he just eases into that wall. George Smith in second, had a good swim yesterday, George Smith. Don Bissett in third, and again, yeah, 2:23 in for third position. I think Rory Dixon might just sneak in there with a 2:24.17 in the top 10.
Yeah, it's got to be right on the cusp there, isn't he? He was good swim yesterday, made the final last night as well in the breaststroke.
So Wilby takes that heat and he will lead them through. Rory Dixon does sneak into that final in 10th position, 2:24.17. So it's Wilby, Cook, Corby and Smith. That is the top 4. It's hard to look past James Wilby for that one.
I think obviously I think he did some studies. I've kind of read somewhere that he was concentrating on his kind of university work a few years back, and And I think now he's back to kind of full-time swimming, and you can see the benefit. I mean, hopefully you can rewind and back and see that front-on shot, but there's virtually no splash around him. All the effort that's going in under the water is actually propelling him through the water, which is obviously, you know, more efficient than most people. So it looks like he's actually relaxed and not trying very hard, but actually under the water, the power, every single bit of power has been used in that stroke. I think, you know, in all the kind of years of watching him, I think now he really seems to be pushing that on. So it'll be interesting to see how he can go in the summer when he'd expect to be at his best.
Yeah, we'll see how he gets on tonight, James Welby. He'll be in that final. He chooses to swim it. And one of the centre lanes. Should be an interesting one, that 200 breaststroke. This will be a good one, the 100 freestyle for women. Faye Rogers, Abby Davis, Ella Stevenson, Grace Noonan, Isabel Wood, Mari Craig, Heidi Wren, Alana Burns-Aitken, Rebecca Schluman and Molly Irvin Watson.
Everyone quite close here. I think a few of them have actually went under the 1 minute in the short course event, but obviously that converts up a little bit slower in the long course. So let's see if someone can take this out and actually go under the minute. That would be a nice start for Heat 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Burns-Aitken going very well with that green cap of Ireland. Right in the centre as well. Looks like Mari Craig in lane number 5 going well. So it's going to be these two. Going to be challenging that 1 minute mark. And are they going to be under? They both are. Well done for Burns-Aitken and Mari Craig. 59.72, 59.90. So well done to them. Excellent.
Always good to get under that mark, and although it's only a number, it does seem like a barrier sometimes to some athletes. So nice to see both of them getting through it the same.
Yeah, it's nice. A 59.9 is a lot better than a 1 minute point at 0-1.
But nice to get back there, yeah. It's more like a 1:59.9 nowadays.
I swam a 25 metre race a little while ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did
First
that
time in 15 years. I was okay for 20. The last 5 was a struggle.
I can imagine.
This is the second heat of this 100. I couldn't even imagine doing 100 these days. But Ida Son takes us in lane number 0. Louise Edmonds in 1. Phoebe Arbuckle back in the water again. The distance swimmer goes in lane number 2. Layla Weatherspoon in 3. Amber Stevenson in lane number 4. Falcatin leads them through 28.99 in lane 5. Melissa Mainwaring in 6. Jade Blake in 7. Mia McLeod in 8. And Kiana Kurtza in lane number 9.
Another good Danish swimmer here, Falca in 5, leading this field. Good opportunities, I think, for all the Danish swimmers. They all seem to be around about the same age, so I don't know if that's been the selection, but great swim here.
She's going to be under the minute? I think she is, yeah, look at that, 59.98. She gave herself a good chance in that first 50, followed that up. And the only one under the 1 minute mark, Jade Blake, a good swim from her 1 minute .48, just over that 1 minute mark. Mia McLeod in 3rd place, but Falcatin, 3rd swimmer under the 1 minute. I'm going to get just about, well, practically everyone's going to go under the 1 minute in the final 3 heats, you would expect. Certainly going to get a raft of them going under that 1 minute mark.
Yeah, we'll certainly move this event on, haven't we, in the female stages. You know, we'll get Lucy Hope coming up in the last heat. We'll get Abby Wood and we'll get Evie Davis here. Although I don't know if Evie's at the block, but we've certainly got some athletes now in the 100 front crawl females that, you know, are going times that we didn't see before, which is nice. I think the strength and depth. Obviously, we've got a GB level. We've got Freya Anderson, who's just, you know, phenomenal athlete. I think, you know, any 3 good athletes beyond Freya, I think, gets a good relay team, and all of these girls are fighting for the relay spaces when we get to the Olympics.
Yeah, Anna Hopkin, of course, won that medal, gold medal winning mixed medley relay team. better known as a 50, of course, but British record holder actually in the 100 and a Hopkin night.
I think the good thing is the two athletes are possibly size-wise completely the opposite.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
in this event, I think it's power that matters, not size. And yeah, it's amazing to see two athletes that are so different being so good.
Well, third heat, underway. It's Tinder Karjamat from Tabby Summit in 0, Caroline Kelstrup in 1, Nicole Ricci in 2, Drew McKenzie in 3, Evie Davis, not taking the start, in 4. But we have Katie Goodburn in 5 and she leads them through. Lucy Grieve in the water again in 6, Ellie Robertson in 7, Rebecca Reid in 8 and Abigail Stemp in lane number 9. Katie Goodburn off to a good start. She had a good swim on Friday. Katie Goodburn going in lane number 5. Lucy Grieve, though, has had excellent swims already all the way through this weekend, and she is in 57.63, and that's faster than her entry time for Lucy Grieve, and she's performing really well, Scott.
It's great to see. I commented yesterday, I think the performance centres are doing really well with the junior athletes. I think for a while that we've seen the junior athletes maybe go back a little bit when they move to the centres, but Katie Shanahan, Lucy, there's a few, even Evie, who obviously was missing from that heat. They're all outperforming themselves this year, which is great to see.
So Lucy Grieve takes that 157 point. Big names in this one, though, like Florence Tinsley from Stirling University, Mary Mischenko, University of Aberdeen Performance. We have Sophie Herch from Denmark in lane number 2. We don't have lane number 3. Abby Wood back in the water again. She had a successful last couple of days. We'll look for a swimmer in lane 4. Katie Robertson goes in 5 for Edinburgh University. Silly Kirkatep, good swim in the 50 style. She goes in lane number 6. Kira Sterica has had a busy morning, goes in 7. Kiana McInnes in 8. Natasha Simpson in lane number 9. In the middle, Abby Wood looking very good indeed here. Just heading Katie Robertson. Abby Wood done a successful 200 freestyle, also 200 metres individual medley, and she's in safely in 56.43.
Good amount of effort in that this morning from Abby, which was good to see. Quite a committed swim. Good morning, solid heat swim. Katie Robertson there in second, they'll be pleased, 57.76. Getting pulled along, it's always beneficial when you're in a lane next to someone like Abby that's willing to go out and certainly have a go on that heat this morning.
So have we got a missing swimmer here? It looks like lane 6, is it? Not taking the start. We have Anna Green, Catherine Renfrew, Martine Dambord, Grace Davison, Lucy Hope, Justine Tabor, Matilda Sandberg, Christina Nielsen Norby, and Ashley Drake. Lucy Hope back in again. We saw her in the 400, back in more familiar territory for Lucy Hope in lane number 4 in the 100 free.
She's really taken this event on, hasn't she? She was maybe specialised a little bit in the 50 earlier on in her career, but certainly the 100 has been where she's been noticed at the GB level and a key component to that Great Britain 100 and 200 4x1 and 4x2 team races.
Yeah, she leads Justine Tabor there at the turn and down this second length here. Tabor trying to come back on terms of Lucy Hope. I think Lucy Hope's got this one under control. 56.43 for Abby Wood in the previous heat and 56.21 for Lucy Hope in this final heat. Just ahead of Tabor there. He was also in the 56 second range. Lucy Hope looking good there.
Yeah, then both of the, I think Abby and Lucy both committed swims this morning. I think 100 front crawl, you're always in danger if you're not on your game, missing the final or being out in one of the outside lanes. But both of these girls were keen to take that out this morning. You can see there the top 3 all on 56 points. So an exciting race tonight, I think, for the final.
Yeah, Katie Goodburn just making it into that top 10 there, 59.25. So she may be in that outside lane to go through to sub 60 to make the B final by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's definitely an event that's really moved on. To say that, maybe even just as 4 or 5 years, just kind of pre-COVID, to say that would have been strange. But now, yeah, all of these athletes are really faster now than they've been in the past.
It's probably in our living memory that the Scottish record was over the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, I mean we had Alison Shepherd in the 50 and also the 100 for years, and she's now coaching up there in Stirling. So you know we have had good front crawlers, but that event, you know, the Sarah Sjostroms of this world, and you know at a world level that event in females has moved on, and it's good to see us actually now starting to bridge that gap and get athletes in that top 10.
So the men are up now for the 5 heats of this 100 freestyle. Adam Ritchie, Leo Gillert, Scott Fleming, John McPhail, Sid Argulin, Ewan Beattie, Jensen Norris and Nathan Campbell. A few names familiar to us already this morning. A couple of events under their belts at least.
Yeah, we've given a few shout outs I think to Scott and Cedar and a few others, but it just shows you that you know, people are multi-eventing now, which is good, and there's nothing better to finish your morning session than a 100 front crawl.
Well, Adam Ritchie, we saw him have an excellent swim early on, making his way into that 50 metres butterfly B final contention, and he is going really well on the outside lane down here in lane number 1, right at the top of your screen. He's going to sneak this one again. Adam Ritchie from one of the outside lanes. Look at that, 53.87. Wow. And very much on the move here, Adam Ritchie. Wow, great swims. 2 good swims this morning, excellent.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the background of Adam. We should possibly ask when we see the coaches of Stirling, but he's had an amazing morning, a great session by him this morning.
Yeah, big improvement on the 50 butterfly, big improvement there on the 100 freestyle, just close to a full second off his entry time there. Second heat, Georgios Baniotis from Greece, in 0, Magnus Toberg from Denmark in 1, Aidan Kay goes in at lane 2 from City of Glasgow, Igor Suvalov in 3 from Edinburgh University, 2 from City of Glasgow in 4 and 5, that's Michael Flynn and Louis Lawler, Luke Shaw in 6 from Edinburgh Uni, Zach Slater in 7, East Lothian, Arthur Logan in 8 from Edinburgh Uni, and Andrew Arthur in 9 for Stirling University. Not much in that at all at the turn, my goodness.
It's a great race, isn't it? I mean, I think everybody here 53, 54 entry times. I think it's up there for anybody. They top lanes again, it seem to be doing really well in that kind of lanes 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, looks like Magnus Toberg, Aidan Kay and Igor Suvalov are going to fight this one out. Maybe the man in the middle of those 3 is Suvalov, is it? No, Kay. In fact, 53.53 for him. Into the wall first for Aidan Kay, and 0.2 behind Suvalov. Another 0.2 behind was Magnus Toberg. So all the action taking place right at the top there. Again, the 53 second mark for the 3 leading swimmers in that one. We're not even at the seeded heats yet.
I know. I think we're thinking back in our swimming careers, and 53 would be an amazing time. But nowadays, these these are professional athletes. Some of these guys in these last heats, so you know you'd expect them to be better than what they were previously. But still, some of the times they're producing are world class.
We saw a world class time from David Cumberledge in the 50 a couple of days ago. What's he going to be in the 100? Line up for this one: Lee McLaughlin, Zach Speakman, Rory McKinnon, Evan Bailey, Joe Litchfield, David Cumberledge off to a great start. Stephen Kravich, Charlie Poole, Chris Muir and Jamie Allison. But Cumberledge with such a good swim in the 50. Medalists, of course, Commonwealth Games in the relay team for England back in 2018. But the 50's very much been a speciality for them. He's doing well over this 100 though, isn't he?
Does look comfy, doesn't he? I mean, I know the 50s is his speciality, but in this one he's certainly taking out, and Joe Litchfield's not slow, so
almost got a very kind of square bodied technique, hasn't he, David Cumberley?
We always say he's kind of upright. It looks as if he's kind of standing up in the water even though he's lying down. That was, I think that was one of the technical analyses that we've done on. But I think it's all power. When he came to Edinburgh, I know at first he made a massive improvement, and I think the whole mindset changed when he came to Edinburgh. And he's done nothing but kind of get better since he's joined.
Well, it was 50.52 for him, just 0.5 outside the meet record held by Jack Thorpe. So this fourth heat, Peter Allen, Theodore Lovegreen, Miles Lapsley, Bruno Kempster, Jack McMillan. What can he do after his great swim yesterday in the 200? Evan Jones, Casper Bugard, Connor Fitzgerald, Mads Moller and Christian Thorhaug. Again, we see the impressive Danish junior swimmer Casper Bugard going well in lane number 6. Jack McMillan, though, really was strong in that 200 yesterday.
Yeah, and we've seen him do a wee warm-up in the 400 earlier on in the session, and I'm guessing that's why he was relaxed in that. But you see him pushing on now. What a swim last night, and I'm pretty sure when we get to the final tonight, we're going to see some really special times.
Well, meet record stands at 50.03. We saw that great time from Cumberledge earlier in the 50 points. Oh, and again, 50.50, 2 100s faster than Cumberledge. Evan Jones gets the better of Casper Bugard there. A nice second 50 for Evan Jones, Scottish Commonwealth Games medalist in the relays. And Jack McMillan will take that one, and looked very good there.
And it's good to see Evan there. I mean, certainly last year's Commonwealth Games, he just grew, didn't he? He just grew into that event, and he became a real key member of the relay teams, especially on that team. And it's lovely to see that when it's such a young athlete that's coming through as quickly. But you can imagine what training is like up there when you've got Jack, Evan, and athlete in lane 4 here, Duncan Scott. I'm pretty sure the training up there is pretty hot sometimes when they're going at it.
Yeah, it's great to have such a great training squad. See the green caps of Swim Ireland here side by side. Stephen Clegg, para swimmer, visually impaired swimmer, goes up there in lane 0. Jack Casson and Oisin Tebbit going 1 and 2. Scott Gibson, he could be out fast. Sprint backstroke champion, he goes in lane 3. Duncan Scott, Scottish record holder, goes in lane number 4. Thomas Carswell in 5. Nicholas Costello in 6. Ross Leslie in 7. George Smith in 8. And Callum Peebles in lane number 9. Well, what can you say about Duncan Scott?
I mean, he's one of these athletes, I think every time you watch him you see something different, and it's always good. And certainly as a coach it's just a pleasure, I think, to be around him at some times. But he's such a humble guy as well. He's an amazing kind of athlete as well as an amazing person. But interesting as well, we've got Scott Gibson, who's a back crawler, who's emerging this season as a front crawler as well. So as well as Duncan at the head of this, we've got Scott coming up in second.
Let's keep an eye on the meet record here. 50.03. Oh, well, it was 50.03. It's now 49.47 for Duncan Scott, and that again, another impressive time for Duncan Scott. My goodness, it's only 1.5 seconds outside his best ever, the Scottish record, and that was great for Duncan Scott.
Looked comfortable, doesn't he? I think he had a little bit of illness at the start of the season, and he looked, not quite himself. But certainly he must have put a hard training block in, I would have thought, post the trials, and looking good. And they've been altitude for the last, I think, 2.5 weeks. This is him just back for a week, so you can see that altitude training's paid off for that whole kind of Stirling and Loughborough group that's here this weekend.
Moving on, of course, to World Championships as well. A number of these swimmers here, and that bodes well, doesn't it? And of course, Duncan Scott with his real head-to-heads. It's always kind of build with it when he comes up against Tom Dean in the 200, and also in the 100 as well. Like a real kind of rivalry. Seems to be a friendly rivalry between those two, though.
I know, it's interesting to watch, because I think what brings them on is the fact that they're all, as you say, quite friendly and so good together. it's something we don't always see, if I'm honest with. There's normally a rivalry there, a needle, but what I will say, this weekend the Stirling guys have been playing in the water. They've been doing events. They maybe doing. There've been laughs and jokes, and I think sometimes we take swimming too seriously. The guys at the top end have had a fun weekend.
Well, the fun's not stopped yet. Swim off time. Here we go. 50 metres butterfly. Ailey Robertson in the top lane. Alana Burns-Atkin in the lane closest to us in this 50 metres butterfly. They tied. I think that was a tie for 12th place, so this could be a place for one of the reserve spot here. Ailey Robertson in lane number 4 with that blue cap, the green cap of Alana Burns-Atkin here, and as you would expect, they tied in terms of time in the qualification heats. Who's going to get this one? It looks like it's going to go to the green cap if she can finish, and she can. 28.06 for Alana Burns-Atkin, with Ailey Robertson in 28.48.
Great finish there, and it's all on the finish there from Alana. The last 15 metres really put the head down and all the effort into the strokes, and good to see.
Well, swimmers going for their swim down, and we'll go for our virtual swim down as well, Scott, because that is the end of our session. Thank you very much, Scott. Hope you've enjoyed your session, your latest stint on the live stream. I'm sure they'll ask you back.
We'll just need to wait and see on that one, but yes, it's been good this morning, some good swimming, so thank you very much.
So next session will be on in just about an hour or so of time. Session starts at 12:15, so please join us on the live stream again. Thank you very much for your company this morning. Go and have a cup of tea, maybe get some early lunch, and come back to join the second session at 12:15 from the Glasgow International 2023. We hope to see you back. And from myself, Paul Noble, and Scott Warner, it's been a pleasure to be with you this morning, and we'll see you soon for this afternoon session. Bye for now.